Hello friends, today we are going to talk about the liquid crystal material and the phases which we talk about or the phases of the liquid crystal. When we talk about the liquid crystal, in this case, we talk about what do you mean by liquid crystal? Like normally we are aware of crystalline nature, amorphous nature, or the matters existing in three forms like solid, liquid, and gases. Now, obviously, before starting with the concept of liquid crystal, we can say that when we talk about the states of matter, there are three states of matter, that is solids, liquids, and gases. And we are very much aware that when we talk about solids, all the atoms of solid are going to have both orientation and the positional order, means they are going to have proper position and perfect orientation. But when we come to liquid, in the case of liquid, they have order, but they have no orientational order. And secondly, the intermolecular forces are going to be more weak as compared to solids. But when you come to gases, in case of gases, you neither have orientational order or positional order, and secondly, you have no intermolecular forces. So whenever we talk about the states of matter, in all these three states of matter, we talk about two different orders, that is orientational order and the positional order. And if this there is an existence of both these orders, it is going to be considered as solid. If there is only positional order but no orientational order, it is considered to be the liquid having a weak intermolecular force as compared to solids. But when you come to gases, you neither have positional order nor orientational order, and even the intermolecular forces between the molecules of the gases are completely absent. So, this is depending on these two parameters, that is, orientation and the positions, we are classifying the states of matter. Now, coming to our topic, when you talk about liquid crystal, liquid crystal, you can say it is going to be a phase of matter which is going to exist between the solid and the liquid. So, as we start coming from solid to liquid, in between there is an intermediate phase which is nothing but considered to be the liquid crystal. So, when we talk about liquid crystal, it is a substance that exhibit a certain phase of matter between which two materials, that is obviously solid and the liquid. So the phase which exists between solid and the liquid is nothing but considered as liquid crystal. Now, in this liquid crystal, the molecules which are present, they are of mostly rod shaped, which are little bit longer. So you can say the molecules of the liquid crystal are long rod shaped crystals, which are of around the size of 25 angstrom. So the liquid crystals are going to have long rod shaped structure which are of size 25 angstrom. And whenever you talk about the orientations and the positions of this liquid crystal structure, it is going to be little bit different from solid and obviously little bit different from the liquids. As you can see, the representation of the structure in solids, representation of structure in liquid crystal, and representation of structure in liquid, the better arrangement, or you can say better orientation and position, is considered in solid, but little bit fluctuation in orientation and position is observed in the liquid crystal, and you have no proper orientation and position in case of liquid. So the phase which is existing between solid and the conventional liquid is that phase is referred to as liquid crystal. Next is when we talk about the historical background of this liquid crystal, like from where we have talked about or from where this concept of liquid crystal comes into picture, is that when we say if I have a cholesteric material, this is representing your cholesteric material. If this material was taken to be or considered at two different temperature, one at 145.5 degrees Celsius and secondly 178.5 degrees Celsius. So at these two temperatures, the nature of this material was observed, and when they observed the nature of this two material, they observed that this at this temperature of 145.5, the material appeared cloudy liquid, and when they increased the temperature from 145 to 178, the liquid became clear instead of cloudy. That means they took a cholesteric material, and this material was observed, or its nature was observed, at two different temperatures, that is 145 and 178 degrees Celsius. And at 145 degrees Celsius, the material appeared to be cloudy liquid, and at 178, the cloudy liquid became clear. So, this appearance of cloudy liquid is nothing but the phase of matter called as liquid crystal. So the material moving or transition from solid to completely pure clear liquid, there was an intermediate phase which was occurring between the solid and the conventional liquid at the temperature of 145 degrees Celsius. At that temperature, the appearance of this cholesteric material was cloudy liquid, and that is nothing but considered to be the liquid crystal. So this is what we talk about, the historical background of the liquid crystal. Next is, either I can have isotropic crystals or either I can have anisotropic crystals. Like mostly liquid and gases have the property to be uniform or to be same in all the directions. So if I have a material which has its property to be same in all the directions, then that type of material is considered to be isotropic material. So for example, when we say liquid and gases, they are considered to be isotropic, means their property is going to be uniform throughout in all the directions. But when we talk about anisotropic crystals or anisotropic material, the basic part is that the liquid crystals which we are talking about, they show anisotropic nature. And when we say anisotropic nature, it is going to have orientational order. So when I say liquid crystals exhibit the nature of anisotropic, and this anisotropic property or anisotropic nature of liquid crystal gives a rise to the optical activity or uniqueness of optical activity to the liquid crystal. So if I want to talk about the optical activity of the liquid crystals, that is entirely dependent on this anisotropic nature of liquid crystal. So this anisotropic nature of liquid crystal is very important, because of this anisotropic liquid crystal, or you can say that because of the anisotropic nature of the liquid crystal, the liquid crystal has a property of optical activity, and this unique property of optical activity is used in the application called as liquid crystal display. So as we have obviously heard about that, we have LCDs, that is your liquid crystal display. In that case, we have the optical activity, that is a unique property, and that property is entirely dependent on anisotropic nature of liquid crystal. So all the liquid crystals which are available, they have an isotropic nature. Next is, whenever we talk about the characteristics of liquid crystal, the characteristics of liquid crystal depends on three parameters, that is positional order, second is orientational order, and third is bond orientational order. So all the liquid crystals are going to be characterized with the help of these three parameters, that is positional, orientation, and the bond orientational order. Now, so when we are talking about the unique properties of liquid crystal, so the orientation of the liquid crystal basically depends on the three parameters. The one we can consider is the pressure which is present in the environment of the liquid crystal. Secondly, the temperature to which the liquid crystal is subjected to. And thirdly, it depends on the presence of external electric field. So the orientation of the liquid crystal depends on these three parameters, And as the three parameter changes, the orientation of the liquid crystal varies and giving us the unique properties of the liquid crystal. So as I said, the liquid crystal should have anisotropic nature, and because of the anisotropic nature, the liquid crystal shows many optical properties which are used in many real life examples or applications. Now, whenever we talk about liquid crystal, and the liquid crystal is said to be existing between the temperature range of T greater than Tm but less than Tc. So I say that between this range of temperature, the liquid crystal exists. Now, what do I mean by saying that the liquid crystal is going to exist between the range of T greater than Tm, but obviously the temperature lesser than Tc? Now, when I say Tm, means what? The melting temperature from solid to the liquid crystal, because as you can see that to get the liquid crystal, we have to first start from solid. We have to increase the temperature, and once we increase the temperature, we come to the phase called as liquid crystal. And if we even increase more the temperature, we are going to come to the state called as the liquid, that is isotropic liquid. So in that manner, we can say that we are starting with the basics of solid, and if we increase the temperature, with the increase in temperature, the solid gets melted into liquid crystal. So the temperature at which the solid gets melted into liquid crystal, that is denoted by Tm. So Tm is indicating the temperature at which the solid gets melted into liquid crystal. Next is we have a term that is Tc, that is this temperature. This temperature indicates the clearing temperature, or you can say the temperature which gives us the transition from liquid crystal to the isotropic liquid. So at this clearing temperature, the liquid crystal gets transformed into isotropic liquid. So these two temperatures are important. That is Tm, that is a melting temperature at which the solid gets melted into the liquid crystal, and Tc, it is the clearing temperature, that is the temperature at which the liquid crystal from cloudy liquid gets converted into the clear liquid, that is your isotropic liquid. So these two temperatures are the range. In between this range, the temperature is suitable for liquid crystal. So if I have a temperature greater than Tm but less than Tc, that is if I have a temperature in the range of Tm and Tc, then that temperature is suitable for the existence of the liquid crystal firstly. And as we keep on moving from solid to liquid crystal and from liquid crystal to the isotropic liquid, you are very much aware from the previous concepts that as I'm moving from solid to liquid crystal, from liquid crystal to the isotropic liquid, I'm increasing the temperature. And as the temperature increases, the phase of the matter changes. And the one which is important to us is your liquid crystal. So, when we are at the solid matter, or we can say when we are in the solid state, we have both order available, that is orientational order as well as positional order. So, when we start from solid at a certain temperature, then we have the existence of both, that is orientational order as well as positional order. But if I increase the temperature and go to the new phase, that is liquid crystal, because of the increase in temperature, we have, or we can say we lose the positional order, but there is certain orientational order still present. So as we go from solid to liquid crystal by increasing the temperature, we have no positional order, but still there is a existence of orientational order. Obviously, after that, if I increase the temperature more, with the more increase in temperature, we are going to go to the new state, that is obviously the isotropic liquid. And when we reach to the isotropic liquid, we have neither orientational order, no positional order. So as we keep on increasing the temperature, the matter phase changes from solid to liquid crystal to isotropic, and the orderness of the position and the orientation keeps on changing. So if we consider the liquid crystal, it is going to have the orientational order but no positional order. Now, when we talk about the liquid crystal system, it is classified into two types, that is thermotropic and the second one is lyotropic. We are only going to study about the thermotropic liquid crystalline system. The thermotropic liquid crystalline system is classified into three more types, the nematic, smetic and cholistric. So these are the three basic classifications of the thermotropic liquid crystalline system. So starting with the classification of the liquid crystal phases. So liquid crystal phase are going to be divided into thermotropic and the lyotropic. In thermotropic, that is entirely dependent on temperature, we have three phases, that is nematic, smetic and cholistric. Now starting with the first phase is that nematic. In nematic phase, at a certain temperature, we have a long range orientation order. But as you can see, this liquid crystals are oriented in the same directions, but they don't have a positional order. They have the lack in the position. They can move about anywhere, but they have a certain orientation order. So when we talk about the nematic phase of the liquid crystal, we have proper long range orientation order, but because the lack of positions, we can say we have no positional order. We are also going to make use of a term called as director. What do you mean by director is that it is a common axis along which the molecule tends to align themselves. That means the molecules of this crystal tend to align certain a common axis. That common axis is called as director. So whenever we talk about director, director is nothing but the common axis along which molecules tend to align. And obviously these are the molecules of the crystal, or you can say tend to orient. So this common axis along which the molecules tend to orient themselves is called as director. And obviously if the molecules are able to orient themselves along the director, this gives rise to the anisotropic nature, which I have discussed previously. So why do I get, or why the liquid crystal gets the anisotropic nature, is just because the molecules are able to orient themselves in the direction of director. That is why they are getting the property of anisotropic nature, which is leading to the basic or most important optical properties in the terms of application. So when we talk about directors, this is like most basic parameter which we are going to make use of throughout is director. Next is, when you say nematic phases, it's simple. You can say you're not going to have any positional order, but you are going to have an orientational order, which is going to give you rise to the liquid crystal phase called as nematic. Next is, when you talk about cholistric, cholistric is nothing but also called as chiral nematic, means this is a type of nematic phase, but in this case it is obtained due to the compounds present of cholesterols. So as they have compounds of cholesterol or the derivatives of cholesterol present in it, so they are little bit different from the nematic phase, but they are actually a modification of the nematic phase, as we are discussing this cholistric phase just after nematic phase. So when we are talking about cholistric, that is chiral nematic phase, they are going to be same as nematic phase, that is They are going to have a long range orientational order, but obviously no positional order. But you can say this cholesteric nematic phase is a modification of nematic phase, and in this case the liquid crystal has compounds of derivatives of cholesterol, so that is why they are a little bit different from nematic phase. Secondly, the difference between the nematic phase and the cholesteric is that the optical activity of this cholesteric phase is very much higher than the nematic phase. So this is the main difference between the nematic and the cholesteric phase, that is of the higher optical activity. Now, in cholesteric phase, the directors or the alignment of the molecules are in the helical order, or you can say in the helical shape. So that's why the cholesteric or nematic phase is supposed to consist of layers of alignment. As you can see in this diagram, you have a layers of alignment. But if you look at the molecules which are present in one layer, they are all aligned or oriented in a certain direction. But if I consider or if I compare the orientation of the molecules of one layer with the orientation of the molecule of another, it is not going to be same. As the layers are placed parallel, but the orientation of the molecules between the two layers are not same. But for one layer, the orientation remains same. As we go to the second layer, the orientation of the molecules changes. But for one particular layer, the orientation is going to remain same. But as we go to the third layer, again the orientation of the molecules are different from the first two. As we go to the fourth layer, the orientation of the molecules is different from the above three. So you have a stacking of layers present in the cholesteric phase in the helical order, and in this case when you say the director, that is a common axis along which the molecules tend to orient themselves, they are going to rotate about horizontal axis. That means in this case we calculate the term called as pitch. Now what do you mean by pitch is that the distance covered by the director for one full rotation. When I say one full rotation, I mean to say for the 360-degree angle rotation. So the director is going to cover a certain distance for one full rotation. That distance covered for one full rotation of the director is called as pitch. So for a certain one helical order, we have the half pitch value. So if you want to calculate pitch, which is nothing but the director is going to cover a certain distance for one full rotation, that distance is called as pitch. So if the director is in helical order, or if the helical shape is obtained, this is nothing but called as the cholesteric phase or the chiral nematic phase. This is how you talk about the pitch of the material. Secondly, as we have talked about the two phases, the nematic phase and the cholesteric phase, they are just the derivatives of each other. The one is modified form of another. When we come to the third phase, that is the smetic phase. In smetic phase, this is going to have the alignment of the molecules in the form of layer, but their alignment is restricted to a certain plane, and this is obtained, or you can say the smetic phase is obtained at a lower temperature as compared to the nematic phase. So whenever we talk about the smetic phases, we can say that if you want to obtain a smetic phase of a liquid crystal, it can be obtained at a lower temperature as compared to the nematic phase of the liquid crystal, firstly. Secondly, the molecules of this nematic phase are aligned themselves in the form of layers, and this layers should be restricted in the plane. And as you can see, this smetic phase has more orderness as compared to the previous two phases, that is nematic and the cholesteric. So they have more order, and if they are properly ordered, they are going to have higher viscosity. So in the phase, that is smetic phase of liquid crystal, the liquid crystal has more viscosity, and you can say the more order. and this smetic phase is obtained at a lower temperature than the nematic phase. As you can see in this diagram, I have shown the three phases all together. The first one indicates nematic. That means you have orientations along the director, means the molecules of the nematic phase liquid crystal are oriented in the direction of the director, but they have no positional order. But when you come to the smetic, in smetic case, the molecules are properly aligned in the direction of director, and secondly, they are supposed to have nearly proper positional order as well as orientational order. And in the last case, that is the cholesteric phase or the chiral nematic phase, we have the presence of layers in a helical order, and this whole distance covered by the director for one full rotation, that is 360-degree, that distance is considered to be the pitch. So this is how you compare all the phases with each other. And secondly, as we are properly aware that if you want to obtain different phases, we need to obviously change the temperature as they are thermotropic. As you can see, in this case, this is smetic C and smetic A type of crystal. When you talk about smetic A type of crystal, the molecules are tend to be aligned in the directions of director, but when you come to the smetic C, in this case, the molecules are not aligned straight, they are aligned with a certain angle with the director, and this is the nematic phase. As you can see, there is orientation but no positional order, and this is your isotropic liquid, obviously no positional order and no orientation. And this is your solid crystal having both, that is orientational order and the positional order. So this diagram shows that as we keep on increasing the temperature, the material changes its phase from crystal, that is solid, to the smetic phase, then to the nematic phase, then to the cholesteric phase, and then lastly, if you are increasing more the temperature, that is above TC, that is clearing temperature, you're going to come to the isotropic liquid, that is clear liquid, which is obviously not the liquid crystal. Now this is how the diagram of more appropriate nematic, smetic and cholesteric phase looks like. This is your first indicating no positional order but a proper orientation order around the director. This 2 indicates the smetic phase C and A, that is alignment having both or orientational order as well as position. But if we have stacking of these molecules, or if we have the molecules oriented in the form of layers, and these layers are formed in a case of helical order, this is going to be cholesteric or the chiral nematic or the modification on the nematic phase. As we said that smetic phase consists of two types, that is smetic A phase and the smetic C phase. What's the difference between smetic A and smetic C? In this case, the director is perpendicular to the plane. So if the directors are perpendicular to the plane in which the molecules are aligned, it is considered to be the smetic A phase. But if the directors are oriented at an angle to the plane in which the molecules are aligned, it is considered to be the smetic C phase. Because if I recall, whenever we talk about smetic, we say molecules are aligned in a certain orientation, but they should be restricted in a plane. So for smetic phase, the plane is more important. So if the directors are perpendicular to the plane in which their molecules are aligned, then it is considered to be the smetic A phase of the crystal. But if the directors makes an angle with the plane in which the molecules are aligned, it is going to give me the smetic C phase. The last type of liquid crystal type is discotic liquid crystal type. When you say discotic, in this case, the liquid crystals are present in the form of disc shape, firstly. Secondly, the axes of the molecules are going to be perpendicular. That means the axes are going to be perpendicular to the molecules. And as you can see, in this case, this is indicating the nematic. And if they are arranged in the columnar part, like in this case, the disc shape are oriented in a random direction. But if they are oriented properly in columns, they are called or considered to be columnar discotic. So whenever we talk about discotic liquid crystal, the liquid crystals in the form of disc shape is considered to be discotic liquid crystal. And in this case, the axis is perpendicular to the molecules that tend to orient along the specific direction. And if the molecules tend to position themselves in column, if they are in the random direction, so this is the first type of the discotic crystal. But if the molecules are going to tend themselves along a common, or you can say along a certain column, that type of discotic crystal or that type of discotic material is going to be called as columnar discotic liquid crystal. So in discotic you have two types, either the disc shaped crystals oriented randomly, or the molecules aligning themselves in the column part, or in the case of column or in the pattern of column, that is going to lead to the columnar discotic. So this is what you talk about the discotic liquid crystal type. So those are basic phases of liquid crystals. Next is, if I want to consider that suppose a molecule given to me is whether a liquid crystal or not, so there is a certain criteria which should be satisfied by the molecule so that they can be considered as a liquid crystal or not. So if I consider a molecule and if I want to determine whether I can use this molecule as a liquid crystal, that means the first criteria for the molecule to be used in the form of liquid crystal is the molecule should be elongated in shape, that is they should be in the form of long rod shape. Then that type, or that is the first criteria for the molecule to be considered as a liquid crystal. Secondly, that long elongated rod shaped crystals or molecules should be having the property of rigidity in the central region. So if I consider this as the molecule, so it is a long rod elongated in shape, and if I have rigidity property at the center or in the central region of the molecules, so that's the second criteria for the molecules to be considered as liquid crystal. And lastly, the ends of the elongated shape or the ends of the molecules, like this part, that is ends, should be flexible in nature. So these are the three basic criteria for the molecules to be considered as liquid crystal. That is, first, elongated in shape, that is long rod shaped. Secondly, the central region of this shape or molecule should be having the property of rigidity. And lastly, the ends of the molecule should be flexible. So these are the three basic criteria for determining whether the molecule given to us is a liquid crystal or not. So in this particular video, we have talked about liquid crystals and their different phases. And when we talk about this liquid crystals together, and when we consider their applications is considered or taken to be in the most important application, that is liquid crystal display. So we are going to talk about this liquid crystal display in the next video. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much.